Good afternoon and yatahei to you. Welcome to the Love Shack here in San Francisco. We're on Anderson Street in Bell Heights. And, about 1948, I was born on Potrero Hill on the next hill over. 11 Pally Road in the projects. And me and my father started out coming from the East Coast. That's where we had to start. You know, and from there, we got our first house over on this hill. And from there on, I was, doing my thing. As a little young lad, I followed my brothers a baby. I was the baby of the family, and I tried to be the same age as they were, and they were like 5 and 6 years ahead of me. And so I emulated what they did. I watched them box, and Golden Glover, my brother Bill, and Leonard was a left-hand champion in the heavyweight division in the Marine Corps. And I learned how to slip and bob and weave with my hands tied behind my back. And although I didn't go into the ring except for 10 amateur fights, City College 6 and 4 in the Golden Gloves, I was a pretty good street fighter. And as a matter of fact, I had over 100 bouts, and I only lost a couple of them. And a lot of ties, but some of them ties, when the end result, I was still here and everybody else was made, they weren't coming around the same neighborhood anymore, so that maybe the tie was the victor. But at any rate, I was always butting into other people's business. I was kind of a defender, a bully protector. I didn't like bullies, and so the defense that I had, I displayed it with other people, and it got me into a lot of trouble sometimes, defending others. But at any rate, I wound up selling newspapers. My first battle of the bands was, for Lincoln Mission High School. Back when I was about 14 years old, 15 years old, I was selling newspapers. Because I'm the one who came up with the money to get these places to open up. You had to come up with a $100 bill, and that's what I did. And my first job was riding a motorcycle at 15 and a half. I rode a Harley Davidson with a sidecar, 74. And later on, my ride went down in 1971, and at that point, I actually developed a taste for some of the narcotics and wound up on a 5-year bin, and I lost my spirit. And I was lucky that I recovered from that, and I was able to give that up altogether. And how I got over it was actually going to these Jesuit retreat houses and the American Indians. So I became friends with some of the American Indians, and from their beliefs I began to get into the Templar principles and the Freemasons that started our country, that gives us our Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And so I'm a believer of justice, and some of the justices making people accountable for their actions along the way of my life. A lot of it stemmed to in regard to women as well, because my mother never seemed to get the romance or the justice that she thought she had coming. And so therefore I stuck up for other women and then some. And but anyway, today I'm all about the children of the future. I want to see a good future for us. I thank God for everything that God's given me, and from that premise, I've always been somewhat of a party goer myself. Worked very hard to throw expensive parties, and never made money, ever made money on it. Even with competing against Bill Graham in the early days of Fillmore, in between his stay, he wanted to retire for a while, but he came back a month or two later. So I had some big shows with Stevie Wonder and Billy Preston, and I did a couple of things that didn't work out in Hawaii, but I've been to 20 states, 20 countries, 36 states, and I believe San Francisco to be the poster child for global peace. We have everything at our disposal here. And so Diamond John today is trying to let his story be said and heard. And hopefully from any of the proceeds that come from the movie, hopefully we can help do something good for our world, to keep it good for the next generation. Give people hope, the children of the future, give them hope. And so that's what I'm about. I'm about entertainment, and that's what we do That's what I do with as Diamond John today. I do tours, rock and roll fun tours, and we have a San Francisco Rat Pack. And on the Rat Pack is I've asked to join the family a super guy that I met out, and he's a professional, and he's very good at what he does. And I'll let you hear from Wayne Carter. Boom, boom.